The Rupert Murdoch-owned Wall Street Journal is lashing out at Donald Trump again, this time over his failed first 100 days. It's worth discussing. I'm Dave Aronberg, former state attorney for Palm Beach County, aka the Florida LawMan, here on Legal AF. Thank you for hitting that subscribe button. I'm pointing down here. Hopefully I got it right this time. Hit that subscribe button. Thanks for all your support. Let's talk about the Wall Street Journal, because here at Legal AF we talk about things at the intersection of law and politics. Well, when you talk about the Wall Street Journal, you've got Rupert Murdoch, who is one of the big political supporters of Donald Trump. I mean, just turn on Fox News. Although you're starting to see cracks in the armor when it comes to Rupert Murdoch's other publications, the Wall Street Journal, the New York Post, you'll know it goes to DEFCON 1 when the Fox News starts attacking Donald Trump. That hasn't happened yet. That's the big one. But right now, the publications owned by Rupert Murdoch that are not named Fox News, or the Fox News as I just referred to it, they have been attacking Donald Trump. And now that Trump's 100 days are behind us, the Wall Street Journal has decided to ring in his 100th day with a dire warning, urging him to change course. And it's unmistakable where they're coming from, with the headline at 100 days, Trump 2.0 is in trouble. The tariff shock he's unleashed could sink his second term. Well, yeah, do you think so? And this plays into the politics, because you have more and more people coming out against Trump. It's not just the rallies and the town halls. Those are all huge. But as far as you're starting to see slippage of support within his own party, because as Trump's poll numbers sink and as the stock market sinks, people are more emboldened to speak up. If the economy were good and if Trump's numbers were strong, then I don't think you would see as many people trying to say, well, maybe the tariffs aren't a good idea, or they have this editorial that would say, well, they would perhaps be critical of Trump without saying Trump's name. Well, here's the Wall Street Journal saying Trump's name. According to the editorial, presidential second terms are rarely successful, and on the evidence of his first 100 days, Donald Trump's won't be different. The president needs a major reset if he wants to rescue his final years from the economic and foreign policy shocks he has unleashed. And then the editorial goes into some of things that they claim to be Trump's successes, but then they come back and say on other priorities, the execution hasn't matched the promises. That would seem to apply to DOGE, which we've supported, but has been so frenetic, it isn't clear what it is achieving. Easy targets like USAID make for symbolic victories, but no fundamental change in the growth of government. The Trump budget will offer more reform proposals if the White House can get them through Congress. He badly needs a pro-growth tax bill. It's interesting that here's the Wall Street Journal saying that they don't even know if Trump can get his budget bill through Congress, a Congress that has ceded its power to the executive branch. We've never seen this before in American history, where one branch of government has emasculated itself. Thankfully, the courts are stepping up, and it's amazing. I know a lot of us were wondering if the Supreme Court was going to push back or continue to enable Donald Trump to exercise unfettered power through the immunity decision, for example. Now the Supreme Court is now apparently believing that Trump is not acting in good faith, and it's time to resist. That's the Roberts court. Well, will that continue? It's going to be up to Roberts and Amy Coney Barrett. It's their court. The others they've locked in. Those two are the swing justices who will decide what happens next. Although I must say, when it came to the shocking, incredible ruling on Saturday at 1 a.m., which put the kibosh on Trump's deportation plans, according to the Alien Enemies Act, that was apparently signed by 7 out of 9 justices. All the justices except for Alito and Thomas. That means all 3 justices appointed by Donald Trump. Okay, but back to the Wall Street Journal. Even on popular causes, one problem has been needless excess. Harvard and other universities need to change, but trying to dictate their curriculum and faculty choices is an intrusion on free speech and risks defeat in court. His deportation of criminals is worthwhile, but denying due process and toying with the courts will sour the effort. The White House motto seems to be that if something is worth doing, it's worth doing too much. That's where the lack of competence comes in, mind you. They have things that are relatively popular. People want a crackdown on illegal immigration. They want a secure border. They don't want an elimination of due process. They don't want innocent people to be deported. They don't want children who are citizens of this country, small children with cancer, deported. That's not going to be good for Trump's poll numbers, and it's just not good when it comes to our democracy or just morality, quite frankly. Deporting kids with cancer, come on. Who are American citizens? And then it comes to tariffs. So tariffs, which is really the bane of the Wall Street Journal's existence. They hate tariffs, and they're not afraid to call Trump out on it. They've editorialized before on it, and this is just their latest. They say that this is all especially true on tariffs, which could sink his presidency. Mr. Trump was elected to control inflation and raise real incomes. But tariffs do the opposite. They guarantee at least a one-time increase in prices on imported goods that will flow through the economy. They portend shortages for consumers and for businesses that source goods and components from abroad. And that's why the supposed threat by Amazon to expose the tariffs in their pricing, although it looks like they're capitulating and going back on that, well, that's why it's so dangerous to Trump. It's a reminder to all the public that this is a Trump tax increase. Now, will that go into effect? We'll see what happens in the coming days. But you have billionaires like Jeff Bezos they don't want to upset the apple cart. They don't want to upset Trump. But meantime, wait till their customers find out. Their clients, their customers, their Prime members, that the goods that they're selling are now increasing in price. So maybe they'll blame Amazon now for it instead of the Trump administration. That's what's at stake here. I think eventually people realize that when their goods go up in price, when inflation doesn't come down but goes up, that you can't blame the Democrats and DEI for that. There's only so much you can blame on Joe Biden. So back to the editorial. When it comes to foreign policy, the main cause for alarm is his one-sided pursuit of peace in Ukraine. Until this weekend, he had scarcely a discouraging word about Vladimir Putin, while squeezing Ukraine to make concessions that could doom it to future marauding. Much will hang on the details of an armistice, if there is one, and not merely for Europe's future. Voters re-elected Mr. Trump in part because they remembered fondly his first-term economy. But that success owed mainly to his pursuit of conventional GOP priorities, like tax reform and deregulation. This term, he is indulging his trade and foreign policy obsessions, and the early results are negative. He'll fail unless he heeds the warnings. Quote the Raven, nevermore. Or quote Rupert Murdoch, one of Trump's important supporters, who's been a mouthpiece for him through his media outlets. Well, this one media outlet that does have Trump's ear, because when they come out with editorials, Trump lashes back. Well, they've come out with another one. And I do think that the pressure from folks on his side of the aisle is having an impact. Trump's tariffs have been on, they've been off, exceptions here, there. There's really no coherence in his policy. But we're still going to face price increases. We're still facing just a mismanagement of the economy, of the government. Elon Musk is supposed to take a step back. He's still involved, though. And so the public's not going to like it. There's no indication that the next 100 days are going to be much different than the first 100 days. And if that's the case, then I think you'll see a continued deterioration in Trump's poll numbers. And that paves the way for a potential Democratic huge victory in the midterms in 2026. But 2026 is a ways away. In the meantime, it's important for folks here at Legal AF to speak up, to keep getting the word out, and we'll keep doing so. I'm Dave Aronberg, former state attorney for Palm Beach County, a.k.a. the Florida LawMan. I now have that term trademarked, so yes, gotta love trademark law. Maybe I'll do another video on that for another day, or maybe I won't. Thanks for all your support. Thanks for subscribing, leaving a comment, and sharing with a friend. And I'll see you next time.
In collaboration with the Midas Touch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories at the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.